Hey there, you may have heard that creating a passive income stream is all the rage right now. Everybody and their mother wants a passive income stream, and can you blame them? No, this is one of the best ways to generate income passively. What does it mean? It means simply that you're generating income when you are not working at it. That means that money is coming in when you're sleeping, when you're in the shower, when you're picking up your kids from school, all of that good stuff. Now, you've probably heard of many passive income strategies, and one that has been really popular recently and that absolutely changed my life is, of course, digital products. Now, when you hear about digital products, it all sounds the rage and it sounds extremely exciting. Very soon, that bubble of excitement is popped the moment you start to think about the tech overwhelm and what specs does it need to be, and should it be a PDF, and should it be a PNG file, and should it be SVG, and what platform should it be on, and what format should it be on that platform. There are so many questions, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down and answering all of those questions so that if you're just getting started, you're going to be able to do it easily and execute in a matter of a couple of days maximum, simply because of everything that I'm going to be teaching you in this video. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Pam Obasa, the founder of The Lucrative Lady, and on this channel I talk all things sales systems, social media and strategy. In fact, my one goal on this channel is to help you to make more money, a lot of money. So in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to create and sell Etsy digital products. Etsy is one of the most amazing platforms for digital products, and one that I am absolutely taking the maximum advantage of, hence why I'm teaching it on this channel. So definitely stick around if you want to learn how to sell digital products on Etsy. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button and turning on your bell, because I publish 3 times a week. And by turning on your bell, not only will you be supporting my channel, but you will also be the first to be notified the moment I publish. And of course, if you are returning, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming back. So stick around, because this is going to be a good one. I've been selling digital products for 3 to 4 years now. When I first started, I had zero clue. I had no idea what I was doing. And to be honest, my very first one flopped like a pancake. But the moment I sort of took the strategies that I teach on this channel, not just in this video, but on this channel, I've sort of put in everything that I know, and I'm still putting in everything that I know about creating digital products. The moment that I started to do those things started to change for me. And the very first product that took off, because I applied the things that I teach, was a product that generated $65,000 in 35 days. So over here in pounds, that's around £60,000 or something along those lines. You can just Google that and check the currency there. But that really blew my mind, and I had zero doubt in knowing that this was a journey that I'm going to take for the rest of my business life. So because of this, I have seen firsthand experience as to how overwhelming it can be and how hard it can be for the average person, the beginner, to just get started. So I really want to hold your hand and explain things in a way that's really easy to understand, so that you can generate income and gain massive success. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing specifically on the tech aspect, and things such as the resolution and the sizing guide and all of the various things that you need to know, the terminology that you need to be aware of, so that when you do put your product out there, you give yourself the best chance at it doing very well financially. So as well as sizing and resolution, I'm also going to walk you through, near the end of this video, some of the things to look out for when it comes to listing your product on Etsy. I'm going to be giving you my 2 cents on what is working right now and all of those things. So make sure you stick around till the end of this video. Now, before I even jump in, I do have a free gift for you. This is my digital product starter kit. This is a starter kit that I created to really help you to jumpstart your digital product business or passive income stream. Inside of this starter kit, you're going to find all of the sizing guide, the resolution, and all of the things that I'm going to be teaching, or rather talking about, in this video. But you will also find my recommendation for where to host your digital products. So Etsy is one of them, but I actually teach 9 different platforms where you can begin to generate sales today. So that's going to be in the starter kit. And lastly, inside of the starter kit, I've also added 100 plus digital product ideas. These are ideas that are popping right now, so make sure you grab that. This starter kit is actually going to be a product, so it's not going to be free forever. I just wanted to put it out there, just in case you watch this and you go there and it's no longer free and then you start emailing me. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be free forever. I'm going to leave it for, I don't know, maybe the first 100 downloads or something like that. And then it will be a paid product. But right now, as you are watching this, check the link below the video once you finish watching this video and make sure you grab it now. So I'm doing this video Q&A style, and the first question that I want to answer is, Pam, what is the best file type for me to deliver my digital product to my buyer? This is a really great question because you need to know what type of file, what type of resolution, and all of that. I've heard of some nightmare stories where people have purchased a digital product that the buyer thought, was the right resolution, but on the other end, when the buyer had downloaded this product, the resolution was actually poor. So I'm going to be giving you the tips on that right now. So the industry standard for a resolution for something that somebody is going to buy in terms of an image is 300 ppi or dpi. So ppi stands for pixels per inch, whilst dpi stands for dots per inch. Either way, you don't want it to be anything under 300. Consider 300 as the minimum standard. So depending on the type of digital product you're going to create, you're going to need different file types. So for example, let's say you're going to create something that needs really deep imagery, something to do with photography, or images that have a very intense coloring. For this, you're going to need something called a raster file. So what is a raster image file? What a raster image file, what it basically means in plain English is that every image has a certain number of pixels, and inside of a raster file, each pixel is assigned its own color. So what this means is that when you zoom in and out, you can see the full picture. However, when you zoom in, you can actually see the actual specific coloring of each pixel. So think detail. That's why this works really, really well for anybody doing anything to do with photography, i.e. any printable in terms of photographic printables. So think about things such as some sort of printable that you might have in your baby's nursery, or a printable that you might have in your kitchen, or any sort of wall art. You're going to have to start thinking raster file for something like that. Raster files, however, are not great with any image that has, let's say, curved lines or any sharp edges. It's not great for that because you can literally see the details in the pixel through that. And I've seen images like that that just came out all wrong. Some of the most commonly used file types for raster files are things like PNG, JPEG, a GIF, and a PSD. And we're going to go over some of those a little bit later in this video. Now let's talk about a vector file. The difference between a vector file and a raster file is that a raster file is very difficult to scale. Like, you just cannot just make it so much bigger, whereas a vector file, you can, because it works on a mathematical point scale. This means that they can be scaled to any point without losing quality. Now, whilst vector files are really good for scaling, they're not so great for photography, which is where raster files come in. So if you're doing anything photography, think raster file. But if you're doing anything where people are going to blow it up into very large images, very, very large prints or anything like that, then you want to definitely think vector file. So vector files are really great for images like icons or graphic images or anything. Think billboard, think very, very large images. Essentially, you definitely want to make sure that it's a vector file that you are giving your customers. Some of the most commonly used file types for a vector file are PDFs or SVG files. It makes it really easy for people to cut if they are creating silhouettes or really big blown images. Now, let's move on to one of my favorite file types, and a file type that I think is most common for most people that anybody would understand, and that is a JPEG or a JPG. JPEGs are one of the most commonly used file types on Etsy, or just one of the most commonly used file types if you're going to deliver a product to a customer. Why? Because you can use it as a raster file, meaning that it works really well with images. So most images, when you download it, it will be downloaded as a JPEG, right? You'll be prompted to save it as a JPEG. We're going to talk about PNG a little bit later data, which is another type of file type that you can use for photography and images. But the other thing about JPEGs and the reason why they work is because it's very easy to compress them into a very, very small file size, therefore saving you space and saving the buyer space. And then, of course, you can then open them and uncompress them and make them a little bit bigger. The downside with a JPEG is that you cannot blow it right up into a billboard, right? You cannot do the big massive images with a JPEG because it just wouldn't look so good. So it's not going to be great for any type of icon that has any sharp images or curves or anything like that. The next file type that you can offer your digital product through, and one that I absolutely love, is a PNG file. You've probably heard about this before, but a PNG file, again, very commonly used alongside a JPEG. Now, the difference between the two is that a PNG has a transparent background. So, for example, when I ordered my signature, when I had it created for me, it was sent to me as a PNG file. So take a look at this example now. This is a PNG file. This is my name written in a specific font, and it's a PNG file. Now, because it's a PNG file, it's transparent, which means that I can use it on absolutely anything, and it's transparent. Now, look at this example now, which is a JPEG file of the same image. However, because it's a JPEG file, I've got this ugly white box around my signature, meaning that it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look very professional. So that is the difference between a PNG and a JPEG file. So where might you use a PNG? So you want to use a PNG file anytime you need, or you're giving your customers access to be able to layer something on top of another. So the PNG file would be layered on top of another image so that it stands out, and it also blends in and making the two images work well together, looking like they were created together even though they weren't. So people who are buying a PNG file, you've got to keep in mind, if you're creating or offering this type of file type, you've got to know that they are buying it so that they can layer it on top of something else. So bear that in mind with your designs. We've talked about raster and vector files. We've talked about PNG and also JPEG files. Now I want to talk about another file format that is very commonly used and is really, really brilliant for digital products, and that is the PDF. So a PDF is actually a vector file, but the difference between this and any other thing is that a PDF allows for multiple pages. So you'll see products such as workbooks being delivered as a PDF, or manuals being delivered as a PDF. Basically anything that requires multiple pages is going to be offered as a PDF. So a PDF is a really high quality file, really good for scaling, for offering things that requires multiple pages. Like I said, workbooks, think manuals, think contracts, anything like that you're going to be offering as a digital product, you're going to deliver it to your customer as a PDF. The reason why I love PDF files as well is that they're really, really versatile. They can be opened by virtually any type of operating system. You can open it on your phone and your laptop, like it really doesn't matter. PDF is very widely recognized, so you don't need a special software or a special tool to open a PDF, so it makes it really easy for the buyer to receive their product. PDFs are also really great for any type of printing or printable that you want to create. So think calendars, think ebooks, think planners, basically anything with multiple pages that need to be printed. Using a PDF file, or rather creating it as a PDF, is going to be the best format for you and your buyer. So when it comes to selling on Etsy, however, the downside with a PDF is that if you have multiple pages, it can be quite a large file size. And on Etsy, for example, the largest file size for a single document is 20 megabytes. So if you have multiple pages of a PDF, the chances are that it will exceed that 20 megabytes file size that Etsy asks for. So what I don't want a lot of sellers to is that you actually just have your PDF inside of some sort of platform like Dropbox or Google Drive or Amazon AWS, as I prefer to do it. You can have it on there, and then of course when somebody purchases the PDF, or somebody purchases the product, just at the end they get the link leading them to your Dropbox or to your Google Drive or wherever this PDF is actually hosted, and this is how you get around the 20 megabytes limit that Etsy gives you. So the final file type that I want to talk about before I give you some more bonus tips to help you to actually get your digital product to market is an SVG file. An SVG file is a type of vector file. This means that it's very easy to scale, which makes it brilliant. So if you are creating digital products for people who have cutting projects such as stencils or stickers or anything like that, don't forget to make sure that it is an SVG file. So before I jump behind my laptop and show you exactly how I would list a product on Etsy, I wanted to remind you of my amazing bonus, which I'm going to be linking below this video. This is your digital product starter kit. So I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of how to list a product. This is a quick walkthrough just to show you what to do. I am creating a more in-depth video that goes through the entire process more in depth on what I will do with SEO, what I would do with tagging, etc. So just if you aren't subscribed, of course, to this channel, make sure you do so that you can see that video. But really quickly, if you're inside of your Etsy shop, in your shop manager section, you need to click on listings. Once you do, you're going to come to this section. This is a brand new shop that we are creating, so there's pretty nothing on it because it's brand new. So what you do to add a listing is to click over here in the black where it says add a listing. So I'm going to click over here. The first thing you need to do is you need to actually create the images for your listing. So Etsy gives you the ability to have several images and a video. So over here you can have all of the images and the video. Once you scroll down, this information is very, very important. It says buyers are loving listing videos. We know that shoppers are more likely to purchase an item if the listing includes a video. Now, this is proven, guys. It's not just an Etsy thing. This is just a thing for buyers in general. Now, the listing video can be only up to 15 seconds. So between 5 and 15 seconds. So it's not a lot of time to really talk about your product, etc. It's not like creating a YouTube video or even a video on another social media platform. It's very different. So you need to really show off your product in the best way. So before you even get started, what I recommend you do is that you hop over to Canva, right, which is over here, and you create your listing. So this is one of the listings that we are putting up on our new Etsy shop. So we've already created the images already, the video and everything complete. And in a separate video, I'm going to break down what's inside of the images and you know what you really want to convey in your video, right? So you add your images here as well as your video. You scroll down. The first thing you definitely want to do is you want to create a tag. Now you have 140, you want to create a title. You have 140 characters to create your title. Now, with creating your title, you've got to think about it as though you are adding tags. These, the words in your title are the search words that you have to think, what are people relatively searching for concerning your product? Now, to create my title, I use a software called Marmalade. So if I go over here, I have talked about this several times. Now, to create my title and tags, etc., I use a site called Marmalade, which is this, and we have a separate video on that. So you create your title. It has to be maximum of 140 characters. Then over here, you go to about the listing, who made it. Like Etsy really want to know a lot about you. So who made it? You click on I did. What is it? Is it a finished product? Is it a supply or a tool to make things? I'm going to take finished products in this case. When did you make it? Very, very important because they want to know, is it something vintage, for example? Is it something that's not yet made, so it's made to order? Or is it something that was made recently? So if you created it this year or last year, you'd click on that one, of course. And then the category is really important. It says, type a 2 or 3 word description of your item to get category suggestions that will help more shoppers to find it. So category suggestions. So if you start to type, right? So if I type in templates, for example, it starts to give me suggestions over here. So it's asking me, it's asking me, is it a template as in a resume? Right? Would it fit into the paper and party supplies or paper stationery design templates, resume templates? Would it fit there? Or it's saying, is this a template as in digital? So is it an art or collectible, drawing, illustration, digital? Is it a template as in a clip art or image files, etc.? So you'd go through the list and you can try different combinations. And the moment you start typing, so if I change this to Instagram, for example, Instagram, if I spell that correctly. If I change to Instagram, for example, you can see that, it updates things. So you basically begin by typing a keyword, one of the keywords in your title, for example, and it brings out the categories and you choose the best one for you. Now, for the purpose of this, I'm just going to select this one, right? And you can see that it has now included these pretty much as tags, right? So be really careful what you have chosen. And then over here, it's going to ask about primary colors and secondary colors and occasion and celebration. And you can see all of these have the words optional right here, right? Now, I do think it's optional, but I also think that if you are designing something and it has color on it, then add it in there. So for example, if we go back to this one, I can see that the primary color is definitely pink. The secondary color, probably white, you know, it's actually mostly pink. So over here, I might go down and look for pink. Secondary color, I might actually choose white. Now for a digital product, if you are creating something that has many color variations, you know, nude tones or beige or sage or neutral or green or purple or whatever, and people are actually searching for those specific colors, then it does make sense to make sure that you add those colors here, because again, it just helps with your SEO. When it comes to the occasion, the same thing, right? Does it match? Now, if it doesn't match, don't choose anything, because you really don't want to throw the algorithm off. Okay, so for my digital product, the one that I've just showed you, like, it doesn't really fit anything here. It's not for a stag or hen do or anything like that. It doesn't fit. So I'm just going to leave this off because it is indeed optional. Right? Celebration, again, the same thing. You know, it's not for anything specific to celebration, so I'm going to leave that off. Renewal options. This is very important. Now, it depends on you know what type of product you are listing, of course. But if you are listing a digital product, then keep it at automatic, because digital product doesn't really expire, it doesn't run out. But of course, if you have a physical product and you only have a certain number of products, then you might not want it to auto renew every single time, because it might renew and then you don't have the product. And then of course over here where it says type, it automatically puts in a physical product. You obviously, if you have a digital product, you want to change this to digital over here. Now, description. This is super duper duper important. I was trying to find out if there was a maximum word count, and I don't think there is, or maybe there is and I just haven't seen it. But so far as we've been creating descriptions, we haven't hit any maximum word counts at all for the description. So over here it says start with a brief overview that describes your item's finest features. Shoppers will only see the first few lines of your description at first, so make it count, right? This is so important. The first few lines are really important, like the first couple of lines. So just make sure that it really counts. You don't have to repeat the words that you have over here in the title. You don't have to repeat those. You've got to use this as a major real estate in there, and I have a separate video on the description itself. Okay, production partner, this is not relevant to most people, so I don't think it's relevant for the people who are watching this. Tags, this is super duper relevant. You have a maximum of 13 tags, guys. Again, by putting in your description over here and using SEO, you would have added in a lot of words, keywords that are tags over here. And also in the title description, you would have added it in here as well, right? Now, so when you are adding tags, you don't need to repeat those tags, right? You want to use a different set of tags in this section. Now, even though it says tags are optional, don't leave it blank. You should really make sure that you have tags. It says here, get ideas for your tags. And it's telling you what to do. It says, who is it for? What is the main color? What method or technique did you use to make it? What size is it? What style is it? What is the main material? Does this item feature imagery or motifs, etc.? Right? So this is what it's saying. These should be your tags. Again, if you're using a tool like Marmalade, for example, or eRank, for example, it helps you with coming up with tags. And then, of course, over here, you put the price. What is the price going to be? And then you put the quantity. Now, if you're doing a digital product, then you might want to just put in the maximum, 999. Is a maximum. You might just want to put in the maximum quantity over here because it never really runs out, etc. Here we are. Personalization for anybody. If you're creating something that's personalized, of course, then you use this feature. But if you just have straight digital products that don't need personalization like I do, then you don't need this section. And then finally, you upload your files over here so that buyers can download the files as soon as they complete their purchase. One of the beautiful things about Etsy is how seamless it is for buyers to buy, right? That's what really helps you to get those reviews. You want the buying process to be as pain-free as possible. So make sure you add your product here. Make sure that you are on there answering what are they called, customer questions, and doing really good customer service, being in there in the inbox and making sure that if people ask you a question that you are answering really early. This is part of what gives you star seller status. Right, so all of these things are very important, and once you've added them in, you click on publish. So I have another in-depth video coming out actually within the next week that just really runs through these, but in greater detail, where you see me actually list a product live that's going live in one of our shops. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel so that you can see me walk through everything that I would do, specific videos for how to write a really good description, how to create really great tags, how to find a really great title, and how to create the images, and all of that good stuff is coming on this channel. So make sure that you are subscribed. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. If you haven't already downloaded our digital product starter kit, it is absolutely free. Make sure you download that. It will be linked in the comments, and of course it's on the screen right now, but make sure you go to the description and grab that there, and also from the comments section. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.